Imagine being told that a war has ended. Your country has surrendered. The world has moved on. Yet you refuse to believe it. Not for a few days. Not for a few months. But for 29 years. For nearly 3 decades, one man continued a war that had already ended. He hid in jungles, survived on limited resources, avoided capture, and followed orders that no longer mattered. This is the incredible true story of Hiroo Onoda, the Japanese soldier who refused to surrender. The year was 1944. World War II was raging across the Pacific. Japan was fighting a desperate battle against Allied forces, and many of its islands were under threat. Among the soldiers being deployed was a young intelligence officer named Hiroo Onoda. Unlike ordinary soldiers, Onoda had received specialized training in guerrilla warfare, intelligence gathering, and survival. His mission was not to win battles. His mission was to gather information, and continue resistance for as long as possible. In December 1944, Onoda was sent to Lubang Island in the Philippines. Before leaving, his commanding officer gave him a direct order. Under no circumstances are you to surrender, under no circumstances are you to take your own life. No matter what happens, we will return for you. Those words would shape the next 30 years of his life. Soon after Onoda arrived, American and Filipino forces captured the island. Most Japanese soldiers were killed or surrendered. But Onoda refused. Along with 3 other soldiers, he escaped into the dense jungle. The war continued. In August 1945, World War II officially ended. Japan surrendered. Across the world, soldiers laid down their weapons and returned home. But deep inside the jungles of Lubang Island, Onoda never received the message. Months later, aircraft flew overhead and dropped leaflets announcing the end of the war. The leaflets contained photographs and official messages. To most people, this would have been convincing. But not to Onoda. He believed it was enemy propaganda. He convinced himself that the Americans were trying to trick Japanese soldiers into surrendering. And so he stayed hidden. Years passed. More leaflets appeared. Loudspeakers broadcast messages. Family members even sent letters and photographs. Still, Onoda refused to believe. In his mind, a trained intelligence officer could not be fooled so easily. The war, he believed, was still ongoing. Life in the jungle was harsh. Food was scarce. The soldiers survived by eating coconuts, bananas, wild plants, and occasionally cattle from nearby farms. They repaired their clothing repeatedly. They slept outdoors. They lived under constant stress. Every sound in the forest could be a threat. Every stranger could be an enemy. As years turned into decades, Onoda's small group began to shrink. One soldier surrendered. Another was killed. Then another died during a confrontation with local authorities. Eventually, Onoda was alone. Yet even alone, he refused to abandon his mission. By now, the world had changed dramatically. Television had become common. Humans had landed on the moon. New nations had emerged. Technology had transformed daily life. But Onoda knew none of it. He was still living as though it were 1945. Still following orders. Still waiting for his commanders to return. Still fighting a war that had ended long ago. In 1974, a young Japanese adventurer named Norio Suzuki set out on an unusual journey. He told his friends he wanted to find 3 things: a wild panda, the abominable snowman, and Lieutenant Onoda. Most people laughed. After all, Onoda had been missing for nearly 30 years. Surely he was dead. But Suzuki believed otherwise. Remarkably, he found Onoda in the jungle. The 2 men spoke for hours. Suzuki explained that the war had ended decades earlier. Japan had rebuilt itself. The world had changed. But Onoda remained unconvinced. He explained that he would only surrender if he received orders directly from his commanding officer. No one else had the authority. When news reached Japan, officials located Onoda's former commander. The man was now elderly and living a completely different life. But he agreed to travel to the Philippines. There, standing in the jungle after nearly 30 years, he met Onoda once again. He formally relieved him of duty. Only then did Onoda finally accept the truth. The war was over. His mission had ended. On March 9, 1974, Hiroo Onoda emerged from the jungle. He surrendered his rifle, ammunition, and sword. A weapon he had carefully maintained for nearly 3 decades. The world watched in disbelief. A soldier from World War II had finally come home. At first glance, Onoda's story seems unbelievable. But it teaches a powerful lesson about the human mind. Our beliefs shape our reality. For nearly 30 years, Onoda ignored evidence that contradicted what he believed to be true. Every new piece of information was interpreted through the lens of his existing belief. In psychology, this is known as confirmation bias, the tendency to accept information that supports our beliefs while rejecting information that challenges them. But there is another lesson. Onoda's story is also about discipline, loyalty, and commitment. Few people have ever shown such dedication to a mission. Yet his story reminds us that loyalty must be balanced with adaptability. Sometimes the greatest strength is persistence. And sometimes the greatest strength is accepting that circumstances have changed. Because no matter how committed we are to a belief, a strategy, or a goal, we must always be willing to ask ourselves one question. Am I following reality? Or, am I simply holding on to an old story? And that question is as relevant today as it was in a jungle nearly 50 years ago. Until the wheel turns again. This is Kalachakra.